Look, Magic cards can be really expensive. It's important to keep up to date with when a good time to buy and a bad time to buy is for any individual card. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel so you are up to the minute as we try to tell you when these good purchase and bad purchase opportunities are. In this one, we've got cards that we think you should not be buying for a multitude of reasons. If you'll give me just a second to thank our Patreon for helping on our road to do this full time, we'll be right back with a list of cards that are do not buys right now.
Highest level of gratitude to our patrons who power the channel through Patreon. Check out the Patreon link in the description to learn about monthly giveaways, VIP Discord access, and even our official playmat. Yeah, so there was a video that we put out in February 22nd of 2023, and it was called Cards to Avoid Before Commander Masters. And the list of cards on that list were Homeward Path, Inexorable Tide, Orin Frostfang,
yep.
Skithiryx, Land Tax, Darksteel Forge, Fierce Guardianship, and that whole cycle, which has SWAT, Rowlick, Flawless Maneuver, and the green one. Shout out to the green one.
Shout out the green one, bro.
Shout out to the green one.
Trees in chat for the green free commander spell nobody loves.
And
Trees
then Ancient
in chat,
Tomb,
we love you.
and Mana Crypt.
Yeah.
So on that list, and this is pretty crazy, we didn't know anything at that time about Commander Masters, and we didn't know anything at all about Lord of the Rings.
Right.
So we got Homeward Path reprint. We said don't buy these cards.
Yeah.
Okay. We had a Homeward Path reprint that came in Lord of the Rings. We got a box stopper of it. And then at the time we made this video, we also didn't know anything at all about March of the Machine spoilers. We had seen maybe like beginning spoilers, but we didn't know about that Multiverse Legends slot. So Skithiryx the Blight Dragon, that was another one that we said do not buy.
Bro, look at this one.
Do you see
Monday, March. This was in February, right here. 13 February 23. $39.97. $26 market.
And if you go back and you watch this video that we linked in the cards, you would see that that March of the Machine symbol does not exist yet on the MTG stocks page. So that Skithiryx is very high priced, and we said do not buy it. Then we got a reprint in the Multiverse Legends slot of March of the Machine, and it tanked the price, like we're looking at right there.
Got him.
Now we haven't got Land Tax, we haven't got a Darksteel Forge reprint or Fierce Guardianship or that cycle yet. But we did get an Ancient Tomb reprint that we called. We said don't buy Ancient Tomb in February. And it got a Lord of the Rings box topper. So we got an Ancient Tomb reprint that came in the form of Balin's Tomb. Or Balin's Tomb. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yeah.
But we did get an Ancient Tomb reprint. So that was another one that we called. Another one that was on that list was Mana Crypt. And we said Mana Crypt was a, Ancient Tomb has that mythic protection though. It's like an expensive card, and then Mana Crypt, we're still waiting for that reprint, but this is a card that even though we have not called the reprint yet, I still would not buy this. It's still super duper expensive.
It's not the time. We haven't seen this card since Double Masters, and that was 2020. We are 3 years removed from that. They are going to need something to sell this set. Commander Masters, I mean, besides just some expensive Commander legendary reprints, right? They're gonna need a rare land cycle. They're gonna need some killer card like Mana Crypt that everybody wants to open. It's gonna need something. And so yeah, it's nice to be right about some of these cards, I'll tell you. And we got some new cards here that we want to talk to y'all about tonight.
Well, hold on, because we're not even done yet.
Oh, shit.
That's not even it. Okay. So in January 23rd, 2023, a month before the list that I just gave you, we made a video called Most Expensive High Risk Pickups. These are the most expensive cards of 2023. And on that list, we had a bunch of stuff, but 4 cards I want to say. Imperial Seal, we had already had the reprint, but we still put that card on our list. And that card has gone down in price since we said don't buy it.
That one has become such a meme for us because we just put it in every single one of our videos, and eventually it did get reprinted.
It is absolutely a meme, and you can see
$80.
that its price, it's like it's had its one mythic printing, a big mythic printing. But other than Imperial Seal, these were 3 other ones that we had right. We had no Jeweled Lotus information at all, and we said do not buy Jeweled Lotus in January of 2023, and we see now with Commander Masters Jeweled Lotus is getting a reprint. Other 2 big ones that were on that list that we said do not buy. Ragavan. At the time, Ragavan was pushing $80 to $100. We said do not buy Ragavan at 80. Look at her now. And then the other one was a Boro Palace in the Clouds. We'd been ringing that bell for a long time, seriously. The Abora bell. We were please, Abora
all the way
reprint.
Back to Neon Dynasty. We were just like, this is where we'll definitely see it.
Now, if we know a broken clock is right
twice a day, baby.
Right?
That is the motto of our channel.
Eventually, we were going to get to a Boro. Okay, like eventually we were going to get there. We were like, this card hasn't been reprinted, but I really hope you weren't buying it when it was very expensive, because now a Boro, if you want to get the Buckleberry Fairy or whatever it's called, that is a great version to buy. It is much cheaper than when we were reporting on this card, and this card was very expensive. You can get it for even cheaper than that. You just have to hunt for it. If you want it, you can find it for even less. So that is just a small list of cards, okay, that you and I had put together these lists, and we got these right from just January and February of this year. That is a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards that were high price, that if you had listened and you didn't buy them, then you're winning, and you could have waited and bought them for less. Yep. Ancient Tomb, a little bit harder to find a good copy of that because it's so expensive all the time.
I've still got a flyer bet that we see Ancient Tomb and Commander Masters, and them giving the little baby reprint to it in the last set, and then was an indicator of a big reprint and multiple. It just like,
and it's going to be rare.
So many versions too, man. They can capitalize on so many versions now, because this will be the first huge Commander set that's just going to have the potential for 100,000 variants. The year of 100,000 variants, and so they have to lean into it. I just don't see why they wouldn't lean into it. We take these lists very seriously, and we've got another one for y'all tonight. These are our don't buy these for June 23, and hopefully that opener was all the evidence you need to take these seriously. Do not go hunting for these.
Yeah, if you have a printer, you can and you want to just wait for a cheap copy to come out.
Seriously.
I mean, it's a pretty impressive list. A lot of these cards, they're going to get reprinted one way or another, and so you just have to look out for it.
Let's start with an uncommon from Morning Tide, and that's it, homies. This is the only printing of the card. You can see it right there. Uncommon Thornbite Staff, combo enabler, because it says it'll get the ability to untap whenever a creature's put into a graveyard from play. Just combo enabler. This card's over $20. It is a complete scarcity play. We haven't seen it in any form, not list, not layered, not nothing, since Morning Tide. All-time high of this card is right now, July 5th, $23. This is one that if and when it gets reprinted, this is the kind of card, Jake, that tanks on a reprint.
Man, we even had Thornbite Staff on a list ages ago. I'm surprised it hasn't been reprinted yet.
But look, this is an uncommon that has only had one appearance, period. The tank cannot be lower. The tank could not be harder. Don't buy this card right now. Jake, next up, little card called Academy Manufactor.
Oh, yeah, this card does so well with tokens. Very good with clues, foods, and treasures.
I was very high on this card when it was in the $2 and $3 range. I was talking about this one all the time. Y'all, you need to pick this one up, because if this one goes into like legendary status and they don't reprint it because they get a little like reprint equity they can play with it. If they choose this rare to go that route, then this $2 or $3 price is going to be awesome. And we saw a big jump up when it started getting really played and really covered and people started seeing the power level of it. Creep back down, but now we're jumping up again. Clues, food, treasure, it only gets better with time. This is on the MTG fine wine list. And I just think
it is. I love the Jake and Joel fine wine list because I mean it is such a good card.
Yeah,
it's like it
ridiculous.
Has treasure on it. It has treasure on it.
Yeah,
that's the big one.
Well, and Hafiz is right.
It is very good.
Mirkwood Bats was just printed into the Lord of the Rings set, and so it made everybody's interest in clues, foods, and treasure pop again. And that's what's going to happen with cards like this. It's like cards, you know, all of the dragons right now. I hope you're looking at the dragons you want to see if they're high or low right now, because the low ones have a lot of potential to go high because Dragon's about to come out and the public is going to start thinking about good dragon decks again. I know we're talking about don't buy these. I'm just talking about thinking ahead. With Academy Manufacturer, I think this next set is going to be very telling. Right now, this is just popped because of a big printing in Lord of the Rings. It's at $10. I would wait. I wouldn't buy this card right now if you needed to get a copy of this, because we'll see in Commander Masters, are they going to reprint this regularly, or are they going to... Oh yeah, food too. Food was a huge thing in Lord of the Rings as well. Or are they going to control the reprint equity of this?
I mean, if they put it into a commander deck, then I could see it having an adjustment in price. If it just makes it right into an EDH deck, and I know that they've done that before.
Yeah, one time. That was the last point with this one, is that we did see it pop into the Commander March of the Machine deck. And so this also could be one where, exactly to your point, they just throw this in every Commander precon that it's relevant.
Keep that price low.
Exactly.
And people are going to associate it with being a good card.
100%. 100%. So I would say right now, there's a lot of signs with Academy Manufacturer pointing to wait on this price, because this one ain't going to work. This price, I don't think it's going to hold personally. I think that it's going to go down. Jake, have you seen this card, Core Haven?
I have seen this card. It's pretty sweet.
This is one that got a Zendikar Expedition printing. Mm-hmm. One of your favorite little mini sets within any sets. Got some Expedition
version of it. It's like a mini Maze of Ith for white.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. You're looking at Nemesis being the original print here. As you can see, over time, people have kind of woken up to, even if it's a single target fog, a utility fog on a land is always good.
Yep.
And generally playable.
Utility lands.
We just got it reprinted in Lord of the Rings. Osgiliath, Fallen Capital. And so the point is right now is that this card seems like one that they could drive some hype with. It's a fairly scarce one. They had a baby reprint of it in the box toppers from Lord of the Rings. But not everybody's going to want the Lord of the Rings version. If they've printed it here, they printed it Expedition, they printed Commander Lord of the Rings, I think that this is one that could be a excellent rare land in a Commander Masters set.
Yeah. It's a card that I don't have a copy of it. And yeah, it does have these scarce printings.
This is just one right now.
Just getting like a base copy version.
Right.
I mean, it also could be argued that because Lord of the Rings right now has just taken a big hit from the ring, in that we could see an even bigger drop in prices in Lord of the Rings singles, that if you do want this version, you could even wait for it to go possibly lower. I mean, risk is pretty low on that version of it.
Yeah, on Osgiliath, the Lord of the Rings version. Yeah, $7 on this one is low. It's just, this one for me, it comes down to, do you want the Lord of the Rings treatment? That's why it's on my no-buy list right now, because I'm just really anticipatory of Commander Masters having something excellent in the rare slot that's a cycle. And so lands are always a good way to go with these types of cards to drive the set. And some of these bigger prices, I think they're going to need some knockout cards to really drive it. Jake, the next two, these are ones that you can speak to. This one is has only been Portal, but we know, like, this is so on my do not buy list right now because we know we're getting 3 versions of it in Commander Masters, and the hype price right now is 43 for the base copy. Are you kidding me? Bro, this is such a big no buy for me right now. It's unbelievable. We have seen a major fall. Sitting in the 80s and 90s for a long time. Being one of the 1 mana tutors that had still not gotten any sort of reprint or attention at all. Now we know it's going to be in Commander Masters, and we know it's going to have the same price effect as any of these tutors that have been printed in these major variant sets, where having 3 versions, that bottom price goes down.
Dude, the training grounds, for example, from Aftermath. Everybody was looking at that Aftermath opening, the Pinkerton opening, and they were like, look there's 3 copies of Training Grounds. And that right now, 3 copies of Training Grounds in pretty much any variant, they're worth $5 each. Yeah, so dude. It's like, I mean, it's a card that gets... Yeah, it's a card that's a great card. It makes activated abilities, cheaper. It's awesome. But when you give it the 3 copy reprint treatment and a judge foil, for example, it's going to go through a big adjustment. So yeah, Personal Tutor, it's a scarce card. It grabs something specific. I'm pretty sure it's just sorcery, right? You have to grab a sorcery with it.
Sorcery.
So yeah.
Sorcery card, reveal it, put it on top.
Yeah.
Sorcery speed.
So it's like, it's a card that in blue-white, you're most likely going to go grab a board wipe with it.
Right.
That's most likely what you're grabbing with the Personal Tutor. It's like, it's just a 1 blue, go find a board wipe. So it's a great
extra
card.
Turn spell to try and get your combo going. This is more often than not, gonna get a board wipe, gonna get an extra turn spell.
It's a future $10 card.
Crazy draw spell. That's exactly my point, Jake. You're 100% on the money. This copy here is your base copy from Commander Masters. It's pre-ordering at $40. That's laughable to me. This set is going to be played. This set is going to be opened. It's a master set. Look at what happened with all the cards in Double Masters 2022. Please, please don't buy this right now. Just wait 6 weeks for me. Print out a copy on that copyright. Joel told me I could do this. You don't even have to rule 0 with your play group. You can show them this clip right now and write Joel told me to on the printed out copy. Don't buy this one. Same with this one. Because you know what I was just saying about they need a cycle of some hype crap to push a set. How about another Portal Tutor, Jake? Search your deck for a summon creature. Reveal it, put it on top. Right now, this is...
we know that they like to really screw the judges.
Well, we did get the judge promo version of it last year, I think. Which could be a
harbinger of... we're printing it for the plebeians.
Seriously, right now, everybody needs to be looking at the judge promos and be like, all right, so 1 year later, we're getting that card reprinted in a major way. But look, I'm telling you, these are just due. We just got all of these printed into Dominaria Remastered. Boom.
Yes, Wyatt, it is a bad worldly tutor.
Yes, 100%.
However, for those people that want redundancy, they want both. Yeah,
100%. 100%. So please, 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 before buying a Sylvan Tutor right now for $74, go and look at the chart on Worldly Tutor and go, this is a worse version of that card. That's all I need you to do.
I mean, what is this is a rare, right? Yes. Yeah, so this comes back at rare, and it 1,000,000% will be less than Worldly. I mean, what is the price of Worldly Tutor right now? Like probably $15?
No, yeah, I just had it up. It's like 12.
Yeah. So it will definitely be less than that, for example.
11. There's a good watermark for a 1 mana green tutor. It will be worse than Worldly Tutor.
The price will be worse than this.
Because look, honestly, there's probably going to be more Commander Masters out in the world than there even was of Dominaria Remastered. And so, yeah, the price will definitely be lower than this.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you are here. If this is the second stream that you've been to, if you find yourself gravitating toward our videos, then go ahead and help us with that subscription. It does a whole lot more than just signing you up for the next video. It pushes our videos in the algorithm, and it does a big thing for us. So thank you so much for hanging out. Yeah, doubling season. I mean, this is another one, baby. This is like, this needs a reprint big time.
This
always.
It's like Mana Crypt to me. This is the same thought as Mana Crypt. This is going to be in a set to juice it. This is how they got people to buy into Battle Bond before people realized it was just kind of a fun draft environment. But coming out of the gate, you know, these gamified sets, so to speak, like Conspiracy, Battle Bond, any of these that have unique draft environments, it's a hard sell. It's like one step above, what, Unfinity, right? It's one step above the Unsets, except it's more fun. You look at a card like Doubling Season, and it's very clearly used to push a set. Look at this card. Jake, if we were making at the end of 2020, if we were making cards to buy right now, Doubling Season better have been on the list because it was in the 30s to purchase this now above $85 card, because much like Cavern of Souls, this is always going to be a mythic. They've reprinted it twice since it was a rare. Modern Masters was the last time it was reprinted rare. It has been pre-printed mythic twice since then, Double Masters and Battle Bond. Double Masters brought us 2 versions because Double Masters was the sweet little summer child of the variant era yet to come. We know that Commander Masters, if this gets a reprint, we're going to have 17 versions of Doubling Season. Don't buy this at above $80.
He's exaggerating by about 14 versions there. We would get it at least 3 versions probay.
I just feel
shout
like
out to Nitro Nick. Welcome to the dysfunctional family, Nitro Nick. Thank you, Clay.
I feel it in my eggs that this is getting reprinted in Commander Masters. I just really think that this is one you should sit on. I mean,
that's where the card thrives.
Right.
It thrives in Commander. This 1,000,000% will be used to push Commander Masters. When was our last reprint? I'm sorry, you were just talking about it.
Battle Bond.
Yeah, so it has been a minute, and it's a card that gets Mythic protection. So since Battle Bond, is that when it got Mythic? When was its last? Okay, before that, yeah, Modern Masters was the last time that they were like, rare Doubling Season. Then they were like, this could be Mythic, you guys. This is a high price, and people keep scooping it up. We should just make it a Mythic. And when you do that, you have very popular cards. When you take extremely popular cards and you make them Mythic, you give them price protection. You maintain their reprint equity. That way you can use them in the future to pump sets. There are some cards you don't want them to get cheap.
Doubling Season was not in Double Masters 22, FYI. But
correct.
Along the same lines, you know how much I like talking about they like cycles. There's another card. It's not really a cycle.
I'm pretty sure Parallel Lives just got a Judge reprint, so this would be another good one to look out for. If they're reprinting it for the Judges, they've needed a reprint for this card for a while. Rest in peace, dude. I had 3 normal copies and a foil copy of this, and I sold all 4 of them like years ago for like maybe $40 for the playset.
All-time high. All hail. Yeah. All-time high. All-time high. $67. It has come down a little bit.
People have to know it's coming soon.
The Judge promo. Yeah. Judge promo was a good indicator. That's where we saw a little bit of a price decline. But Innistrad and Judge promo, guys, this is a rare that when it gets reprinted will be a $10 to $15 card. Doubling season will be the mythic version of this, and it will stay up in that like 70 until it gets reprinted, and then we'll see it at like 30 or 35, and it'll kind of probably bounce around there depending on what the variant era does to the base copy price. Maybe there are enough variants printed where that base copy is in the 20s. Exactly.
Yeah, I would hope even sub 20. You know, like if they print it at mythic and they're like, yeah, it's just as good as doubling season, then no. But if they end up printing it at rare, then yeah, we could see a big adjustment in price. That'd be great.
Onyxia is already showing token creature. You create a token that's a copy of the card, except it's a 3/3 black zombie creature in addition to its other types. I mean, that seems like some pretty good synergy between the pre-con decks that you're designing to go alongside a booster product, to have a Onyxia printed creating token copies of enchantments that are creatures, and then alongside it print Parallel Lives and Doubling Season as cards that people want to go and seek out for that deck. So I just feel like the writing's on the wall, and these
Parallel Lives,
are finally going to get a little bit of attention. They've needed it for a while.
I think that I think one of them will show up. I don't think both of them show up, but I think we would get one. I think we'll probably get one.
I think we're going to get Doubling Season.
Doubling Season would be good, or they could give us Parallel Lives and just, you know, that be that, and then we have to wait for Doubling Season to show up somewhere else.
Yeah, it's kind of smack in the face because Double Masters has been a while, and this was the last.
It's been a minute. It has been a minute. Lance at Rip and Ship, what's up, Lance? Good to see you. Says anything big and relatively new on the list is going to get a reprint. I see you, Blight Steel. Yeah, I mean, we know it's going to be a bigger set too. So it might be the kind of thing where they just pack it full of tons of stuff, and then it's really hard to find things because there's so many different cards you can pull. That could happen as well.
I'm going to make another call along the tokens. I got into why have these green tokens cards been so ridiculously priced recently, and I started pulling them for this list. Arachnogenesis is an instant that is a fog that creates spiders. Token creature spiders. Put X 1/2 green spider creature tokens will reach onto the battlefield where X is the number of creatures attacking you. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn by non-spider creatures.
Yeah. Wow.
This card has just recently seen a crazy jump because in Lord of the Rings,
there is a spider called Shelob.
Shelob, Child of Ungoliant. Other spiders you control have Death Touch and Ward 2. So it was inevitable that a card like this, which has been like sidelines, got some attention as a really good card. This is probably a content creator right here.
This is the only printing. Yeah, a content creator probably sent part of it. But yeah, I mean, it could just be organic demand. You know, people just finding it organically and being like, whoa, this is actually good.
It seems like an instant that you could see in here.
God, all-time low. $1.
It was a Commander 2015 card.
No, I know. I'm just saying, to be able to pick something that could go through like a 6,000% gain.
Right.
Massive.
I just know that
that's how dreams are made. You could build a house off that. 20,000 copies of Archaeogenesis or whatever the hell.
Arachnogenesis built this house, child.
Arachnogenesis, baby. I bought 100 copies of it. If you had spent $100 on Arachnogenesis, you would be sitting on what, $6,000? Am I doing that math correctly?
I don't know if you are. You know I can't do math, but I know
that you don't do
that.
Yeah.
If somebody had been in our Discord in 2018 going, I'm buying up every copy of Arachnogenesis I see, I think they would have gotten laughed out of the room. But when that spike hit in 2021 and they were unloading those for $30 a piece, who gets the final laugh? You know what I'm saying? It's the person buying stick fingers. I think that right now this is a card where we definitely want to stay away from it. Jake, let's get off. That's not the end of the sentence. let's
hey, you gotta finish that sentence.
Let's get off of the tokens crap and look at some cards. Now, in the past, we've talked about commander sets, or no, we've talked about singles that have the word commander on them, or singles that have the phrase each opponent on them and are particularly brutal effects. Archfiend of Despair only ever printed in Battle Bond, which, let's be honest, Battle Bond was a backdoor commander set. I know that it was a two-headed giant set, and I know that two-headed giant is very near and dear to our hearts, even though we could only go 1 and 3 last month at it. But where else do you print these kinds of cards if not a commander set? And so
yeah,
I will, you know what, chat? Hold me to this. I will do something if Archfiend of Despair is not in Commander Masters. I will help. I will get the Patreon to help us come up with a punishment for me. But I'm pretty sure that Archfiend of Despair right now, if I was sitting on a bunch of copies of these, I'd be trying to sell them.
Yeah, I don't understand really like diamond handing something like this, especially if somebody bought a lot of these with the intention to sell them. It's like, congrats, you did what you were supposed to do. You made money on it. Make sure to sell it. Especially in the variant era where, like you said, in like we have reiterated probably 1,000 times over here, you know, anything could be reprinted at any moment for any reason at any time in perpetuity of the game, always and forever, except for reserve list stuff, except maybe not reserve list stuff.
We don't even really trust anymore.
Yeah, we don't even know. And so anything could be reprinted at any moment. So if for some reason, like I had gone hard on Archfiend of Despair or Arachnogenesis that we were just looking at, and it did go through a big price correction like this, you bet your butt I would be getting out of it right now. 100%.
I will bet my butt on that because I think that you are probably right. And Jake, honestly,
why don't you get a butt tattoo of the Archfiend of Despair if we don't, if it doesn't work out? You can get an Archfiend on your butt.
That's pretty intense. That's worth a good video if we're doing it.
Maybe one of those big thigh tats. Get a big thigh tat.
last point I want to make before we all envision an Archfiend of Despair on my thigh.
Yeah.
Is that this is kind of between you and me, Jake. We played a lot of Battle Bond.
Yeah.
And so I actually need to go and check my notebook and see if I've got any Archfiends of Despair that are just not even in use and are a $50 bill sitting in my notebook.
You very well may have one because you and I played red green and we played blue white when we did the box break and we built the decks out of the box.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure you pulled a doubling season as well.
I know I have the doubling season.
Yeah, so you've got the doubling season. I have a single copy of doubling season that I got out of Double Masters 2022. Yeah. So for you and me, there's nothing to really sell.
Right.
You know, we could sell those into
you could flip those and try and rebuy, right now. But that's my only copy of Doubling Season, and I did get it from Battle Bond. And it was a you and me thing, so that's probably not a card that I'm going to sell. But Archfiend of Despair, I don't really have that same loyalty to, so to speak. And so this is one for me. It'd be an easy flip.
Yeah, you'd be able to sell the Archfiend or Archfiend and be like, well, I still have that doubling season from that event to remember that event. Right. So why not just sell this card? And
that's not going to work for me, Jank. I would rather get Archfiend of Despair tattooed onto my face. I got two more.
Don't do that.
I got two more cards to share with y'all tonight. The first of which is a mythic from the first time we had Commander in the set name, and that's Commander's Plate. This one and the next one, the last one that I want to go over, these are both cards that were one and only printed in Commander Legends. They've got the base copy and they've got an extended copy. We did see Commander Plate pop up in the Heads I Win, Tails You Lose, but I don't even count that. That's not a good way to obtain that, especially if you want it within 8 to 12 months of purchasing it. Commander's Plate is one. Akroma's Will is one that I think we have a really good chance of seeing as sort of like a sort of like an homage cycle to Commander Legends. Let's just take a chunk of stuff from Commander Legends. We've already got validation behind this with a Jeweled Lotus show off. Let's take a little bit of Commander Legends. We'll reprint those cards that can't really reprint anywhere firmly else than putting them in a secret layer or putting them in a precon. And it's because they say if you control a commander as you cast this spell, or equip commander, right? Commander's color identity. There's just not a good place to put these otherwise.
Yeah, I love Commander's Plate. I think it's a great card. It is a card that is creeping up in price a little bit. I got to toot my horn a little bit on Akroma's Will, dude. I actually bought, I think, probably 12 copies of this card. I bought 3 foils of it. I bought the foil extended. I bought 3 foil extended copies of this card at $10 a card for the extended foil.
That's awesome.
And then I bought regular base copies of these cards at $5. I was like, Akroma's Will reminds me of a Teferi's Protection type effect.
Sure.
I just could see it. I was like, there's 2 modes on this card that are both really good. And yeah, I went hard on this card and I bought copies at $5 because I was like, I know it's going to be good. And then I even got a couple of the spicy versions, the sexy versions. And I wonder what the extended art foil's at, because if I bought that for 10 and this is the base copy of the card, the extended art foil's got to be, man, maybe like $20-$30.
Yeah, I would try and pull the trigger on those because this is one where it's in that range. It's in secret layer range, number one, because it would be under $30 to include this one and some other stuff. And so you got to think about that. And we are, I mean, next Tuesday is when this set starts previewing. So we are basically on Commander Masters Eve. This will be our last stream before. No, well, whatever happened, we will stream on Monday. That's right. Because this will be Tuesday morning. Actually, we might move that Monday morning stream.
Yeah, we'll
Monday
probably move that.
Tuesday morning. Yeah, so this will be the last time that we stream before that reveal on Tuesday morning. So, you know, it's do or die time on whatever your calls are. Nothing on this channel is financial advice, but if you want to pull the trigger on some purchases or some sales before Commander Masters starts screwing with prices, now's it. You got this weekend.
Now is it.
Get those sales committed.
Can you go back to the Akroma chart really quick?
Mateus in chat saying $32 for foil extended Akroma's Will.
Oh, so yeah, I mean, that's a 3x on my money right there. So that's not bad.
Yeah, dude.
So if you look at that price on Akroma's Will, there's not really any reason for a pullback. You see how it got up there around 20?
Yeah.
So that could be just an organic selling in anticipation of Commander Masters. You could have people that are just getting out of stuff that's scarce and just deciding, you know what? I can buy it back once I see, because once the set comes out and the questions are answered, then you're able to go back in and be like, oh, well, if that's going to be the big main set this year and it didn't, in my card that I want didn't get a reprint, well, now might be the time to buy it because I want to have a real copy. Or my card that I sold in anticipation of this set didn't get a reprint, so I'm going to go ahead and buy the copy back, you know?
Right.
That could happen too.
Yeah, exactly. Those are our picks right now for cards not to buy, high risk pickups, because mainly looking at this month, we got Commander Masters about to start previewing. So we will be able to tell very quickly if some of these calls were right or wrong.
Bum, bum, bum.